Hi, it's Libby. I'm back from my little shopping trip into town. So my intention was to get some things from the Zero Free shop. My intention was to get some things on the market. My intention was to have a nice lunch at the Prana Cafe in Leicester. And my intention was to go to a couple of the charity shops in my village. And all the things I did. So I'm really pleased with myself, and I've got a few little ideas for little Christmas gifts, just for little stocking fillers and things like that. So I hopped into town. I went on the train, and I had a bit of time in between the stations before I got to Leicester. So I had a bit of time to read my book. So the book I'm reading at the moment is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I recommend this book. It's not easy read. It's a sort of book you read a chapter and then put it down and sort of think about it. The only problem with this book, which I'm finding, is the print is so small. So I do need to make sure I've got my glasses with me. And unfortunately, my glasses broke a couple of days ago. So I really had a decent pair of readings glasses. So I bought myself a little pair in town today, so now I can read this book because the writing is really, really small. But it's a really good book. Persevere with it because it is quite it takes a while to get into, but once you get into it, it's got a lot of good stuff. And yes, I'm enjoying it right now. So that's one thing I did before I went into town. And then I set myself a little bit, set myself a little bit of a task to try and get everything done so I could have a good, nice lunch. I'm just going to have a little sip of my tea. I made some nice herb tea when I got home. And I'm nearly at the end of it, so I need to restock and find some nice herbs to make some fresh. I call it my afternoon tea. Right, so what did I buy? First of all, I went down to Narda because that's the furthest away from where I was ending up at the Prana Cafe to have lunch. So I bought lots and lots of things. I'll show you what I bought and how I bought it. So if you watched the video before, you'll know I took some jars and various bits and pieces with me. So I've got quite a little haul here, a big stash of stuff. So I put an order in about a week ago for Real Foods, and I do a lot of Christmas baking, and I make a lot of like Christmas cakes, Christmas puddings, and I give them away as presents. And I try and sort of get myself organised this time of the year. So I've been doing it for years, making these cakes, and I ordered a big order from Real Foods, and I ordered some really nice, it was vine fruit, so it's like a combination of like currants, raisins, sultanas, mixed peel, some cranberries, all to go in like a mixed bag. And unfortunately, there is out of stock. So the whole order has been held back for these particular fruits. So I said, no, that's fine. You just hold it back because I want those vine fruits, and then we'll just have to reorder. So I've had to sort of just do a little stock up because I'd run out of a few things, and I was kind of like struggling a bit to make my things like almond milk and things like that. So I bought a top up of my bouillon powder. So rather than throwing your little container away, the Zero Free shop sells this loose, so I just bought half a tub because it lasts ages. So I bought half a tub of that. That's going to last me probably 6 months. So half a tub of that filled up in the little container. And what you do there, you weigh the container, and it weighs 30 grams, which is not an awful lot, but 30 grams is the contents in here. So they take it off the contents, and then they just charge you for what you've put in the container. So that's a good way of refilling up that. You don't have to buy another pack of that. I bought some almonds, the same thing. You put the weight on the top, and I just filled it up with the almonds. So that's all ready. That will last me a few days because I make almond milk. I bought some pumpkin seeds. Again, these bags I've had ages, and they're recyclable bags anyway. They're compostable bags, but I just use them. And pumpkin seeds came in there, and I've just got a little bit of few pumpkin seeds to see me through for a few days. I have them on my cereals. Then I brought some cranberries, which again, I'm going to have those on my cereals. Not had them for a while, so I quite like cranberries. What else did I buy? I bought some dates. I took a brown bag, reused the bag. I got some cashew nuts again. You reuse the brown bag. So I keep these. I'm going to greengrocers. I just keep them. I've got some currants here, not a lot, but there's enough to make some cakes and things. So little currants again, you just weigh the glass and they take it off the price at the end. I got some figs, desiccated coconut. I got a little pack of oats because I tend to buy these from the shop, but I'd got this pack in my my little pack of all my bags and things. So I thought, oh, just fill up with some oats, try these oats because I'd not bought them from there before. And again, I'll just use the bag again, so I don't need to throw away. In here, what have I got in here? Oh, I've got brown rice, and again, another brown bag. So what I'll do is I've got little glass containers in my cupboards. One of these days, I'll show you my stash of what I have actually got as dried fruit and things like that. So this goes into my glass jar when I eventually fill it up. But at the moment, it could just stay like that. I filled up with the liquid toilet cleaner. I don't know if I saved any money. It was about the same as buying it, but at least I kept the plastic, one of these plastic things from going into the recycling bin to get recycled into something else, because people think, this is one thing that is a bit of a myth. People think, I recycle this and they'll make something the same out of this. It goes into secondary plastic and it makes something that probably then can't be recycled. And then the item will end up in landfill. Yeah, so this is the kind of thing with the recycling myth, that everything gets recycled. So a milk bottle will go back into a milk bottle, not necessarily. Okay, it might get made into a milk bottle a couple of times, but then there's only so many times they can recycle an item before it has to go into like hard plastic and ends up going into landfill. So I just filled up a little bit, halfway of this. I'm not sure about using toilet cleaner. Like I said earlier on in the video this morning, I made some keep calling them bath bombs. I suppose you could use them in the bath. They are actually the same thing as you would put in a bath. So they are citric acid, they're bicarbonate of soda, and then some essential oils. And you put a little tiny bit of water in, and it mixes up, and it makes into balls, which you just throw in the loo and then use a scrubber to clean them. But I just thought I'd try some of this. It's eucalyptus flavour, well, smelling, not flavour, scent. So I thought I'd just try that. I'll see how that goes. I might not buy that again. Right, so then I went on to the market. Well, first of all, the second place I went to was a cheese shop. Now, I'd been to this cheese shop before, and the lady said, yes, we can cut you some cheese from the pack of cheese, and you can put it in your container. The store was absolutely rammed, and there was lots of Christmassy cheeses and such like, all in plastic wrap. And I just didn't have the time to wait to put some cheese in here. And I kind of got home and thought, do I really need that cheese? Because at the end of the day, that cheese is come in plastic. So I'm having a bit of an issue with dairy at the moment. I've been having a bit of a sinus infection. So I'm wondering if to actually have a bit of a detox from the cheese. So that was part of it, probably the way of saying, no, not buying cheese. Yeah. Okay, I'm not a big fan of vegan cheese either, so I'll probably just go off dairy for a month and see if this clears up, because it's not pleasant at the moment. Okay, so what else did I buy? I went to the market and I used my little bags. Look, this is the first time I've used these, so these were quite useful. So in here, I've got a couple of pomegranates, and they were like £1 for two. Really good bargain, because they're normally about £1 each in big supermarkets. I've got 6 lemons. Now, I don't know what the quality of these are like, but you can actually freeze them in slices, and you can put them in your lemon water in the morning. I tend to use the ones from the market that are, cheap ones. I use them for cleaning things, so you can clean your sink with a bit of bicarbonate of soda. So I'll probably see how they are. They might be all right to eat. So that was one thing I used in my little bag. I'll just put that one aside. And then what I did, I bought some daffodils about a couple of months ago, and they came in this little net. Yeah, it's a really fine net. So I thought, I'm not going to throw that away. That's really quite useful. So you can buy these produce bags, and this is really light. So what I did, I went to the market and I got some herbs. So I've got some parsley. I won't take it all out. I've got parsley in here, and I've got some mint, and it goes nicely in that little bag, and it keeps it all nice and fresh. And then I've got the same here in this other cloth bag, and this is parsley, the one with coriander. Okay, so I've got 2 great big bunches of parsley there, which I'll actually freeze. Okay, it freezes really well. Okay, what else did I buy? I bought some beetroot. I bought 3 avocados for £1. I bought a big bunch of beetroot. So obviously I have my veggie box as well from Mabel and Cole. Just another quick sip of tea. It's really delicious. So then what did I do? I went to a haberdashery shop, and I'd been looking to, so I'm just throwing a pumpkin seed which was on the counter there away. What I wanted to do was I wanted to make some napkins for Christmas Day. I wanted to make these napkins that would be used year after year after year, and not like the paper ones that you throw away, because they're just such a waste. So I sort of looked at the price of this fabric and the look of the fabrics and things, and I thought, yeah, let's just go for it. So I bought what's called fat quarters. So it's a little pack, and they come in with a nice little ribbon around them, and I can use that ribbon for something for Christmas, wrapping things up. And I've got a really nice selection. They've got little robins on. These have got holly, some more robins, some red with, it's a jolly time of the year or something like that, and some more robins. So I thought, you know, we always tend to have napkins all the same. So I thought we'll go with a bit of a mishmash and have a bit of a different sort of look on the table with all different, just bring them all together. Yeah, so they're going to make 5 napkins, and I have actually got some fabric in my sewing kit to make 6, so I'll have 6 napkins. Now there's only usually about 4 or 5 of us on Christmas Day, depending on who's here. My son normally comes here, my daughter and me, and then sometimes their partners, but I don't know this year what's going to happen. So we've got 6 of these anyway. So these will be really useful, and then I'll just keep them every year and just get them out, wash them nicely, and then use them. And it's a pleasure to use nice quality things rather than those horrible paper things, and it keeps paper out of landfill. So I bought those. They cost me £12 for that little bit of pack of fabric, which you probably think, well, that's expensive, but I'll show you the size of one. They're quite big. They're called fat quarters. If you do sewing, you know what a fat quarter looks like. So it's quite a big piece of fabric. So that will make a nice napkin, and then on the edges, these little bits at the edge will make like little covers for my mincemeat. So I make some mincemeat for Christmas Day, and I make some for over Christmas, and I give them away as little presents. And this year I thought I need to get some jars. So that was my other little find, was to go into the charity shops and see if I could find some small little jars, because I don't want to be giving great big jars of mincemeat, just enough to make a few mince pies, just as a little gesture. So I've managed to find these little glass jars. I think they're probably spice jars or something like that. There was 4 of them in the charity shop for a couple of quid. I'd already got one of these little jars that came from a pickle jar. So again, I'll use that. So what happens is then you can just put the fabric over the top, put a bit of ribbon round. You could even use the ribbon that came off this, wrap that around, and it makes a nice little present. You can add other things with it. You can make, get some chocolate and stuff like that as a little gift. Me and my friends tend to just give a little tiny gift. We don't buy massive expensive presents. It's just a little token at the end of the year to say, thank you for being my friend, and there's a little gift. So it's just nice to have something to give. It doesn't have to be expensive. The other thing I found, one of my friends loves tea. So I thought I'll buy some nice tea. I might go down to London before Christmas, might go to Harrods, and I might buy some of their nice blends of teas and buy something fancy. But I wanted to find a tin to put it in. So I found this little tin. It's got pretty flowers on, and it's got a little lid that pulls off, and it's quite airtight. So again, I thought that would make a nice little gift. Fill it up with some really nice tea, some tea from Harrods, somewhere like that. And I know at the moment Harrods do a little tea strainer with Harrods on. So it makes a nice little present. Again, zero free waste. There's no waste here. This is from a charity shop. Yeah, it would have got thrown away, and I'm reusing it, and my friend can use it. It'll probably keep in a cupboard for ages. It's all tin, it's metal. So at the end of the day, even if it goes into the recycling, it's metal. Okay, so that's the stash I bought. I've also bought a couple of days ago one of my favourite books, and it's the Delia Smith Christmas book. I've had this book. This is a copy of the book that I've got. I've had this book for probably best part of maybe 20 years. I bought this when I very first made my first Christmas dinner, and my family was coming round for dinner, and I was panicking because, you know, as a 25-year-old, I'd never made a Christmas dinner before. So this was my lifesaver. So if you do traditional Christmas, this is the book. And I bought this from a charity shop. It cost me 50 pence. So I'm going to give this away as a little present to one of my friends. Some of them I know that do cooking, because in here you've got mincemeat recipes, you've got some chutney recipes for little gifts for making chutney as gifts. There's all cheeses, you can do blended cheeses, there's pickles, there's all sorts of stuff, all nice for Christmas. So that's my recipe book that I make my Christmas pudding, my Christmas cake, and I make some of the Christmas chutneys, which are really nice to give away. So these little jars will probably have the chutney in because they're only quite small. And yeah, so that's my stash today. I don't think anything else I can show you, but the bags I bought was really useful. So these bags that I made, some of them I made, some of them I bought, were really useful. It kept everything nice and clean in my bag. It kept everything together so it didn't get bruised. And I could put those actually in my fridge. It would keep them nice and cool, keep them fresh. So yeah, that's me. So I'm going to sign off and say thank you very much for watching this video. It's gone on a bit, but that's my Zero Free shop. And have a lovely rest of your evening. I'm going to put all this stuff away now in my jars and containers, and sit down, finish my tea, and have a bit of a rest. Okay, thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.